The question is, what stands in most people's way of achieving their dreams? So it sounds simple, we can achieve dreams and there's a million books on it, but what do you think is actually the block for many people?
What's important to you? Like, what's really important to you?
Yeah.
Because you don't have forever, right? So what is important to you? Because you only have 24 hours in a day. So what's important to you? Find out what the fuck that is and do more of that.
Yeah.
And try to figure out like how to make enough money so that you're not starving, that you're doing well.
Yeah.
But don't just chase that. Chase what you're trying to do. Like the point system attached to it, the monetary point system, it can get you all fucked up because it'll get you working like 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day.
To get what?
To get more stuff. To get better stuff, to get more prestigious stuff, to get stuff that, you know, all your other stuff having friends are really jealous of your stuff.
You can get out of the mindset of having to work this time and just demand something better or more interesting for your life.
Well, it's just a weird standard that we've all accepted pretty much across the country. 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. Morning,
9 to
Sam.
5.
Morning, Bob. 9 to 5.
It's 9 to 5:30 or 6.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to take a lunch break, you don't get paid for that anymore. See the world and go do stuff.
40-hour work week is bullshit.
It's bullshit.
It's
You're not
bullshit.
productive that level.
Nobody should do it.
And it shouldn't be standard. Everyone has to do the same amount.
And you have nothing to do with any of it, and that's what a lot of it is. You're just wasting time getting up. I'll go to the bathroom. You take a loop around the hall. You walk around the office one way. I'll take the long way because you don't have anything to do. You got to look busy, taking files out of your desk. Oh, let me call these people. Like, you know, it's a lot of it's looking busy. A lot of it's fucking, lunch. Finally, the one part of the day I can fucking leave.
Yeah.
You know, I go smoke a cigarette in a parking lot and feel like a human being. And then you have to go back and you're like, fuck, we're back, you know?
It's a prison for people.
It is.
That's what it is.
It's a prison.
It's a prison. And people get stuck in it and they don't know what the fuck to do and they can't get out of it because now they bought a bunch of shit.
And those people, when you go into an environment like that, you just, you know, you're losing all sense of who you are. You have to mold into this dumb corporate, you know, like corporations are always kind of corralling you into these things, and like, you know, that's why they do all the corporate events and like,
it's so unnatural. So unnatural for people to not just interact that way and be stuck inside all day like that, but also to like exist in this fucking culture where everybody's full of shit all day, agreeing that they're all full of shit.
Oh yeah, and it's just part of what it is. Thank God we don't have to do that.
Thank God.
Thank God.
But I knew I never could. I always thought I was destined to be a fucking loser because I couldn't keep a job. I did zero ambition to have like a job in an office somewhere.
Well, you wanted to escape, as Andrew Tate would say, to escape the Matrix. You know, you did it. If you can do it, you can do it. Not everyone can do it. But
but I didn't think I was doing it.
No.
That's my point, is that I wasn't doing it saying I'm escaping the Matrix.
Yeah.
I was thinking I'm such a fucking loser.
Yeah.
I can't discipline myself enough to have a job like all these other people who I'm seeing succeeding.
Right.
I can't do it.
One of my favorite stories, I was on Joyce Brothers television show years ago with a couple of other people, and one of them was a man who was then in his 80s and just had received his law degree from the University of Chicago. And he told her that he was standing in line for registration 4 years earlier, and one of the young people in line behind him said, "Sir, are you sure you're in the right line?" And he said, and I turned around and I said, "What line should I be in?" And I thought, that is America. That's the essence of America. You are in whatever line you want to be in this country. And he fearlessly walked up and stood in the line and got his law degree at the age of 86 or whatever he was. And to me, what stands in people's way is fear, and their friends inflicted on them. So one of the chapters in my book has to do with distinguishing between friends and friendly associates, because when I left the academic world, I had a few friends and I had lots of friendly associates. I learned the difference when I decided to leave. And I could also see that they were fearful about it. And I knew them well enough to know that many of them were envious, wished they could do it, but just wouldn't do it. So I think what makes people afraid is the fear of being out on the street. You know, it's an image that I've had, you know, in the first 10 years of getting into a new world, where I realized I wasn't going to get a check every 2 weeks regularly. You know, you have that image if you were raised by Depression era parents. And you also have the other image of the wolves at the door. I remember that one because I found a quick way around it. Go to the door, open the door, and if you don't see any wolves at the door, then there are no wolves at the door. But it is an image that pops into your mind in the middle of the night.
It's like the Pink Floyd line, you know, living life of quiet desperation. I mean, that just terrifies
Well, that's the Rose quote, that most men live lives of quiet desperation. It's one of my favorite quotes ever because it's true. And I've been that guy.
Oh my God.
You're just in this world where you just can't wait to just run away.
And how do people get stuck there? How do you think they get stuck there?
Bills.
Bills, like financial bills?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
Bills and commitment. You have an apartment you have to pay for. You have a car you leased. You have a wife that you have to feed. You have a child you have to raise. You have to... You have your mortgage, you have your this, you have your that, and that's where it all comes from.
Where do you think opportunity plays into that?
Well, the opportunity takes place usually when you're young and you don't have any responsibility. That's when you have your options. Well, your options are severely limited the more you gather responsibilities. Like if I had to, as a 51-year-old father of 3, married man, pays taxes, has a house and a mortgage and a business and all that jazz. If I had to quit everything now and struggle the way I struggled as a stand-up comedian, it would never work. But the only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. That's the only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous. And most people want to take the safe path. And the safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation. Almost every time. It's hell. You're selling insurance or some other shit that you care zero about.
But can people just make that change? I mean,
yes,
look,
you can,
I believe they
but
can.
you have to plan it out. The way you can change is you have to put aside enough money to give yourself a window. And then you have to have a plan. And you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever shit job you do planning your escape. And you have to come to the realization very clearly that you fucked up and you got yourself stuck. So whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. And whether it is you're trying to be an author and if you're gonna try to be an author and you're working 8 hours a day plus commuting plus family responsibilities or whatever else you have, whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, God damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You got to go. You got to get after it. And you got to have discipline. Most people don't have those things. Most people don't understand what it's like to really go for something and to know that the consequences of not doing that are horrific.